10 cents a dance, that's what they pay me. Lord, don't it weigh me down. Some mothers sing lullabies to their children, and some sing nursery rhymes. Mine, once in a while, would burst into Depression-era ditties. That was my mom, a little bit quirky, but we loved it. Another quirky thing that she would do is, when I was in college, she was always after me to get a job, especially those months in the summer when I didn't have any classes at all. And dinner time was the worst. She was either nagging me or teasing me. And if she was teasing me, she would come up with these really outlandish ideas for how I could be earning some money while I was in college. One day she said that I could sell my bus tokens for a profit. I said, Mom, I'm the only person there at school who rides public transportation. No one else is going to want a bus token. Then she suggested, because it was a Catholic college, that I might do exorcisms. And I said that there's already some weird priests who do that for free, and I wouldn't, dare step on their turf at all. And then one day she came out with this plan that was so outlandish that she was laughing so hard as she was talking that there were tears coming down her face, and it was hard to understand her, but I'll try and explain it now a little more clearly. And one day she said, your campus is pretty large, isn't it? And I said, Mom, it's a small school compared to other colleges. It's one of the smaller ones. She said, yeah, but you still have to walk a ways between classes, don't you? It's buildings and stuff. And I said, well, yeah, sometimes I have to walk a couple of blocks to get to my science classes. And she says, so it's a pretty fair stretch between bathrooms. And I said, I guess. And she goes, you could buy a porta potty. And you could situate it strategically so that people could use it instead of, hustling to the next building to get to a bathroom. And oh, she was on a roll. She said, you could put it on wheels, and you could put it in different places where the traffic is heavy at different times of the day. And you're worried about your popularity. They'll be lining up to partake of your services. You could hang a little curtain, and you could have a bell. You could have a tune like the ice cream man has, and they'll hear you coming for blocks around, and then their bodies will say, oh, there's the lady with the porta potty, and then they'll have to use it, and so then you have an automatic customer base, and I think that's a great idea. Well, all of this took place around 1973. And if you move ahead in time to 1995, by then I was working at a materials testing lab. It's actually the place where I still work today here in Atlanta. Well, it's up in Johns Creek. And there's not a lot of biology that goes on there, and I'm a biologist. And so whenever a project comes along that has anything to do with biology, I was usually volunteering and offering to help any way I could. And one day in the autumn of 1995, I had insinuated myself into a department meeting of a department that I wasn't a member of, and I was anxiously awaiting what they were going to talk about that day. And sure enough, the branch manager came in, and he sat down right next to me, and I thought, oh, this is going to be good, because he has a PhD in microbiology, so whatever he's coming up with today, I'm going to volunteer for. Well, sure enough, he started talking. He said, next summer, the Olympics are coming to Atlanta. How can we make money off of the Olympics? And people started brainstorming, and I don't remember any of the ideas except for one. Somebody said, how about we be the go-to lab for drug testing for all of the countries and all of the teams that are going to be at the Olympics? And the room went wild. Oh, that's right, we could be the go-to lab. We could go to them. We could set up a mobile lab. We could even get a porta potty. My throat constricted. My hands got sweaty. I wasn't volunteering for anyone, but someone across the room from me pointed and said, Denise could do it. 22 years. I had since 1973, graduated with a degree in biology. I had worked in immunology research in a cancer institute. I had given birth to 2 daughters and was raising them. I had moved to 4 different states and lived in 7 different places. And in 22 years, nothing had changed. Nothing. The only thing different was these people were serious. Well, nothing ever came of the porta potty proposal in 1973 or in 1995, and now another almost 20 years has passed by, and I hadn't thought about this before, but the idea of retiring is becoming more and more inviting, and to think of spending my days reading books and telling stories and all that, but maybe having a little something that I could be earning income on. And so I've decided that from now on I'm going to start carrying a little jar with me, and I'm not going to charge 10 cents a pee. But if anyone's willing, it's 10 cents a dance.